This is part 2 of our lesson on converting currencies and time and using scales in maps in traveling decision. In today's discussion, we will focus on currencies. We will explain the concepts of currencies. We are going to convert currencies across different countries. We're going to apply currency conversions across various contexts such as e-commerce, budgeting, and remittances. And we are going to apply currency conversion when planning personal or group travels. Before we discuss these, let us review our previous lesson on map scales. A world map shows the straight line distance between Manila, Philippines, and Paris, France. Determine the distance between them in kilometers. So we are given the scale 1 is to 20 million. It represents 1 centimeter on the map is 20 million centimeters in reality, and the map distance is 49.4 centimeters. Since we want the actual distance in kilometers, we will convert 20 million centimeters to kilometers. I'm going to use the technique I taught you last time, the cancellation of pair of zeros. Let's cancel one pair, another one, and last one. So we have here 200 and in here is 1. So 200 divided by 1 is 200. So 20 million centimeters is equal to 200 kilometers. That will be our scale factor. 200 kilometers is to 1 centimeter. To determine the distance between them in kilometers, we're just going to multiply the map distance, 49.4 centimeter, by our scale factor. Centimeter units here will cancel out. 49.4 times 200 is 9,880 kilometers. So, Manila, Philippines and Paris, France are 9,880 kilometers apart according to the map scale. Now that we've refreshed our knowledge about map scales, let's connect this idea to another important part of international travel, the currency. Do you still remember our dream destination challenge? Imagine you're packing your bags for a getaway. But wait, do you know what currency you'll need when you land? In Paris, France, the currency is euro, abbreviated as EUR, all capital letters. In Aklan, Philippines, we use the Philippine peso or PHP. In Tokyo, Japan, the currency is Japanese yen or JPY. And in Rome, Italy, the currency is also the euro or EUR. How many did you get right? Now, here's something to think about. If you are traveling from the Philippines to Japan, your money is in Philippine pesos. But when you arrive in Japan, you will need Japanese yen. So how do we determine how much our money is worth in another country's currency? That's exactly what we're going to learn next. To master currency problems, we need to unlock four key terms. First is currency. It refers to the system of money used in a particular country. For example, here in the Philippines, we use the Philippine peso or PHP. Other examples are USD for the United States dollar and EUR for the euro. Next is the exchange rate. The exchange rate tells us the value of one currency in terms of another currency. For example, if we have the exchange rate 1 US dollar is equal to 55.42 Philippine pesos, this tells us how many pesos are equivalent to 1 US dollar. Now, let's talk about the base currency. In a currency pair, the base currency is the first currency listed. For example, in USD over EUR or USD/EUR, the US dollar is the base currency. The second currency is called the quote currency or sometimes the counter currency. It tells us how much of the quote currency is needed to buy 1 unit of the base currency. So, when you're looking at the exchange rate, always pay attention to the order of the currencies. Understanding which currency is the base currency will help us decide whether we need to multiply or divide when converting. Now that we know the important terms, let's learn the two core formulas that will make our currency conversion much easier. Here's the most important part of our lesson, the core formulas for currency conversion. There are two situations that we need to remember. First, when we're converting from local currency to foreign currency, we use foreign amount is equal to the local amount divided by the exchange rate. In simple terms, if you're taking your Philippine pesos and converting them into another currency, you will generally divide by the peso value of 1 unit of the foreign currency. For example, if 1 US dollar is equal to 62 pesos and you have 30,000 pesos, you divide 30,000 by 62. Now, the second situation is converting from foreign currency back to local currency. For this, we use local amount equals foreign amount multiplied by the exchange rate. So if you have US dollars and want to know the equivalent value in Philippine pesos, you multiply. Here's a simple decision rule that you can remember. Multiply when converting away from the base currency and divide when converting back to the base currency. But don't rely on memorization alone. Always look at the units in the exchange rate and check whether your answer makes sense. Let's put this into practice. Maria is preparing for a trip to the United States. She has 30,000 pesos that she wants to exchange for US dollars. Suppose the money changer's selling rate is 1 US dollar is equal to 62 pesos. How many US dollars will Maria receive if there is no additional service charge? So Maria has 30,000 pesos and she wants to know how many US dollars she will receive. So she's going to convert this to US dollars. And the given rate is 1 US dollar is equal to 62 Philippine pesos. This is our base currency. And this is what Maria wants. Since they are the same, it means converting back to the base currency. And in this case, we're going to divide. So 30,000 divided by 62 will give us 483.87. Therefore, Maria will receive approximately $483.87. You may also want to use one of our core formulas. Foreign amount is equal to local amount divided by the exchange rate. So the local amount here is 30,000 divided by the exchange rate, which is 62 pesos. You will still arrive at this one. Or you may use the unit cancellation technique. Since we want to convert to US dollar, the USD should be on top of the fraction bar. In that manner, the PHP units here will cancel out. Is still 30,000 times 1 divided by 62. You will arrive with the same answer. Any of the three techniques works fine. It's up to you to choose one. Now let's pause and think. Does our answer make sense? Since 1 US dollar is worth 62 pesos and Maria has 30,000 pesos, we would expect to get a little less than $500. And yes, 483.87 US dollars is a reasonable answer. That's another good habit in mathematics. Always check whether your answer is reasonable. Now, for e-commerce. Carla wants to purchase a camera from an online store in the United States. The camera cost 1,200 US dollars. His bank uses an exchange rate of 1 US dollar is equal to 61.85 Philippine peso and charges a 2.5% foreign transaction fee based on the peso equivalent of the purchase. How much will Carla actually pay in Philippine pesos? So the cost of the camera is 1,200 US dollars and Carlo actually wants to know how much he will pay in Philippine pesos. So he's going to convert this to PHP. The given rate is 1 US dollar equals 61.85 Philippine peso. Here is our base currency. Since they are different, this means you are converting away from the currency. And in this case, we are going to multiply. So first, let's determine the camera price to pesos. So we're going to multiply 1,200 by 61.85. And this is 74,220. Now, since there is a foreign transaction fee, we're going to compute for that. And it is based on the peso equivalent of the purchase. The peso equivalent of the purchase is 74,220. So we're going to multiply this with 2.5%. In decimal, 12.025. And this is 1,855.5. To determine how much Carlo actually pay in Philippine pesos, we're going to add our answer in step 1 and step 2. So 74,220 plus 1,855.5 is equal to 76,075.5. Therefore, based on the given exchange rate and fee, Carlo will actually pay 76,075 and 50 centavos. Notice that currency problems in real life may involve more than just converting money. Sometimes we also have to consider service charges, transaction fees, or other additional costs. So always read the problem carefully and identify all the information that affects the final answer. Here's one for you. James returned to the Philippines from the United States with 750 US dollars. A money changer is buying US dollars at a rate of 1 US dollar is equal to 61.42 Philippine peso. How many Philippine pesos will James receive if there is no service charge? So James has 750 US dollars and he wants to know its equivalent in Philippine pesos. The given rate is 1 USD equals 61.42 PHP. The base rate is the first in the given pair. So here is our base rate. And since they are different, it means we are converting away from the base currency. If that is the case, are we going to multiply or divide? We're going to multiply. So let's multiply 750 with 61.42. And this is 46,065. Therefore, James will receive 46,065 Philippine pesos. Or you may also use our formula, local amount is equal to the foreign amount times exchange rate. The foreign amount is 750 times the exchange rate, 61.42. Still, you'll get the same answer. Or if you want, you can use the unit cancellation technique. The USD should be in the denominator so we can cancel them. So we have 750 times 61.42. Again, you may choose one of the three techniques I taught you. The terms buying rate and selling rate are from the money changer's point of view. Here, the money changer buys James dollars and gives him pesos. Let's ramp up the difficulty with the service fee challenge. A Filipino tourist has 50,000 pesos and wants to exchange the money for Japanese yen. The money changer's selling rate is 1 yen equals 0.3834 pesos. The money changer charges a 1% service fee based on the amount in pesos exchange. How many Japanese yen will the tourist receive after the service fee? Since we have a service fee that is based on the amount in pesos exchange, we are going to determine first the service fee. It is 1% of the amount in pesos exchange. The amount to be exchanged is 50,000, so we're going to multiply 50,000 by 1%. In decimal, 12.01. So this is 500 pesos. Now let us determine the exact available amount for conversion. That will be 50,000 minus the service fee. So this is 49,500. And now we convert. The available amount for conversion is 49,500 pesos. And the tourist wants it in Japanese yen. So we're going to convert this to JPY. The given conversion is 1 yen equals 0.3834 PHP. This is our base currency. Since they are the same, Japanese yen and this is yen, it means we are converting back to the base currency. If that's the case, we are going to divide. So we're going to divide 49,500 by 0.3834. And this is 129,107 and 98 centavos. Rounding to the nearest yen, the tourist will receive approximately 129,108 Japanese yen. Notice that we round up to the nearest yen because the yen is commonly expressed without a fractional unit in everyday transactions in Japan. This problem teaches us an important lesson. When additional fees are involved, don't immediately convert the entire amount. First, determine how much money is actually available for conversion, then apply the exchange rate. Let's recap. Let's summarize what we've learned about currency conversion. There are two core formulas to remember when converting local currency to foreign currency. We divide the local amount by the exchange rate. When converting foreign currency to local currency, we multiply the foreign amount by the exchange rate. So here's our decision rule. Converting away from the base currency, multiply. Converting back to the base currency, divide. Or again, you may use the unit cancellation technique. Write the exchange rate as a fraction and arrange it so the unwanted unit cancels, just like what I showed you in our examples. However, always examine the way the exchange rate is written. And when solving real-world problems, remember to look for additional information such as service fees, transaction charges, or other costs. The mathematics doesn't stop at simply multiplying or dividing. The key is to understand the situation and determine what the problem is really asking you to find. Now it is time to check your understanding. Pause this video if you need more time. Let us answer. Before traveling to Australia, Daniel has 60,000 pesos to exchange for Australian dollars. Money changer A sells Australian dollars at 1 AUD equals PHP 43.52 and charges 250 pesos service charge. Money changer B sells Australian dollars at 1 AUD equals 43.17 PHP but charges a 1% service fee based on the 60,000 pesos. Which money changer should Daniel choose if he wants to receive the greater amount of Australian dollars? Let's determine what we know. For the money changer A, we know that there is a fixed service fee of 250 pesos and the rate is 1 AUD equals 43.52 PHP. For Money Changer B, we know that it charges 1% service fee based on the 60,000. So 1% service fee is 60,000 times 0.01. And the exchange rate is 1 AUD equals 43.17 PHP. Now let us solve. Since Money Changer A charges a fixed fee of 250, we're going to subtract 250 from 60,000 and this is 59,750. So he has 59,750 and he wants to know how much is this in Australian dollar. The given rate is 1 AUD equals 43.52 PHD. Since they are the same, this means we are converting back to our base currency. And in this case, we are going to divide. 59,750 divided by 43.52 is 1,372.93. Now let's proceed with money changer B. Let's compute 60,000 times 0.01. This is 600 pesos. So we're going to subtract 600 from 60,000 and this is 59,400. So he has 59,400, and again he wants to convert this to Australian dollar. The given exchange rate is 1 AUD equals 43.17 PHP. They are the same, so again we are converting back to the base currency, so we have to divide. 59,400 divided by 43.17 is 1,375.96. Now let's compare. Money changer A gives us 1,372.93 Australian dollars. Money changer B gives us 1,375.96 Australian dollars. Therefore, Daniel should choose money changer B because he will receive approximately 3.03 Australian dollars more. This is a great example of how mathematics can help us make better financial decisions. The best option isn't always the one with the lowest exchange rate or the lowest service fee. We have to consider the combined effect of all the factors. Gets? If you find this lesson helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. Share to reach more learners and subscribe to support the channel. For you to master this lesson, here is an extra problem for you to work on. Watch out for my next video lesson where I reveal the answer. Keep practicing, keep learning, and as always, you've got this with Mom C Cube. Our next discussion is the part 3 of this lesson, and we will focus on converting time.